Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Fondre here, and today we're going to be learning about two different things that kind of fit together nicely. We're going to be talking about a pretty well-known artist named Frida Kahlo, and we're also going to combine that with Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos. The reason they fit together very well is because Frida Kahlo is a very famous Mexican artist, and Day of the Dead is a huge tradition, a huge holiday in Mexico. So Frida Kahlo would have been celebrating Dia de los Muertos. All right, so let's talk about Frida Kahlo first, and then we'll talk about Day of the Dead and how we're going to make a project based on Day of the Dead. All right, so Frida Kahlo, there's a photograph of her right there. She was born in 1907, so about 100 years ago, and she died in 1954. So she may have passed away about 70 years ago, but that's pretty new considering that we talked about cave art, and that was thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. So Frida Kahlo is pretty close to us in the timeline of things. Like I said, she's a very famous artist from Mexico, and the reason she began painting was because when she was younger, she was actually in a bus accident, and she was injured pretty badly. She had a lot of pains, and she was stuck at home for a while. So she started to paint to kind of help express herself and get some of those feelings out. One of the great things about art, okay? So the thing that makes her famous, or the thing that people remember her for, is the fact that she did self-portraits, which means it's a painting of herself. However, they were done in a surreal way. If you listen to the word surreal, you can hear the word real in there. So it was like a real painting, it looked like her. But the surreal part of it has to do with maybe something that looks real but couldn't really happen in real life. A lot of people say it's like something that could happen in a dream when you're asleep. So some of her paintings look a little weird, and we're going to see a couple of those just a second. All right, we're getting the Day of the Dead things too. So the first one I'm going to show you is called Me and My Parrots. Frida Kahlo was an animal lover. She had dogs, cats. You can see she had 4 parrots in her arms here. She even had a pet deer and some pet monkeys. So it might not be weird that there's 4 birds, because those are realistic birds, but most people don't really have birds. Not quite surreal, but still a little unusual. All right, let's keep going down this weird road. We have self-portrait with thorn necklace and hummingbird. Now, if you know what a thorn is, you might remember or know that some plants have thorns growing out of them. They're these really sharp, pointy, spiky things. So making a necklace out of thorns is probably not something you do in real life, but maybe in a dream you would wear a spiky necklace. And a hummingbird you can see around her neck, looks like there's one tied to her necklace. Do you think a hummingbird would just be a necklace? Probably not. But like I said, it's something that could maybe happen in a dream. All right. You can also see there's a monkey over one of her shoulders and a black cat over the other. A lot of animals happening in this one too. And the last, most unusual one we're going to look at today is this painting called Roots. Now, roots are those viney things from plants that suck up nutrients from the soil and get water to help feed the plant. But you can see from this painting, another self-portrait. She painted herself with plants growing out of her. And that would not happen from a person. They wouldn't just start sprouting leaves. Even if you ate some like seeds for trees, you wouldn't start growing a tree outside of you. So this is where that whole idea of it's very surreal. It can maybe happen in a dream, something crazy like this, but not real. All right, so that's kind of a good overview of Frida Kahlo's work. So from there, we're going to shift into the Day of the Dead, because that is a big Mexican holiday tradition. All right, it's celebrated in Mexico, definitely, but it's also celebrated all over the world. And it's a time to actually remember those who have passed away, people that have died in your family. And though dying and death usually is kind of a sad topic and it makes you miss them and you kind of maybe feel sad, this holiday is meant to be more happy and joyful, to remember all of those good memories. I kind of like this idea because I don't want to be sad every time I think of somebody that passed away, and thinking about those good times makes it a little bit better, right? It's celebrated November 1st and 2nd, And usually it's celebrated in a household with family gathering around. And sometimes it's celebrated in cemeteries because it is the Day of the Dead. So they will go to grave sites or in their homes and they'll decorate them with flowers, candles, beautiful drapery, some fabrics all over the place, and they'll put up photographs and even have offerings out for to help lure the spirits back, as they say. All right. And the reason I have a picture of these skulls here is because one of the really fun traditions is making and eating sugar skulls. They're these little sugary candies that people can decorate with frosting and sprinkles and make them really look happy, these happy little skulls. All right. And I love that recently, last 3 years ago, I believe, the movie Coco came out. Maybe some of you had seen that movie, but that is a whole movie talking about the Day of the Dead. So on the left is a real photograph, but on the right is a picture from the movie Coco of an ofrenda. And like I said, an ofrenda is one of these spots where you set up photos, maybe leave out food, decorated with flowers and lots of bright colors to help guide the family home, as they say. All right. So, and in case you didn't even realize, Frida Kahlo, another great reason why they get along, and Day of the Dead go along well because they were in the movie Coco together. So if you haven't seen Coco, I'd recommend it. I know it's on Disney Plus right now, or you could rent it, I'm sure. But Frida Kahlo, this very famous artist from Mexico, is in this movie about Day of the Dead. So how neat is that, right? So from here, I would like to tell you all about what our project is, all right? So this is a really fun, easy project for all of the grades that are at home right now. We're doing some sort of variance with each grade at school, but mostly we're making our own sugar skulls to decorate, all right? So let me talk you through how to draw a basic head shape for your skull and then some different drawing decoration ideas, all right? So let me move this camera down here, and you're gonna need at least a piece of paper, a pencil to draw your skull with, and then you're going to want markers, crayons, colored pencils, something to color them in with. I mean, right now I have oil pastels nearby, so I might use some of those, but whatever you have at home is great, all right? So from here, to start your drawing, we're going to kind of start by putting your hand towards the top of your paper. And now for me, I'm going to have to do it a little upside down. But we're going to do a curve around the top of your fingers, and that's actually going to be the top of your head. So once I'm done drawing this curved line, I'll flip my paper so it looks right side up to you. I'm just do a nice big curve. Okay, so this is the very tippity top of your skull. All right. From here, I like to tell students to feel, can you feel the side of your head? Because we just did this curving part right here. The sides of your head are pretty straight. They're pretty vertical. All right. So from here on your drawing, we're going to draw two lines going vertical. All right. I'm actually going to switch to Sharpie so we can see this a little bit better. All right. That was my curving line. So from here, I'm going to draw some vertical lines going down. Okay. But we got to leave room for our chin yet. All right. So like I say, for the next part, I want you to kind of feel your jawline. Okay. That's where your teeth all live. So it kind of goes in at an angle, at a diagonal line, but then does it go to a perfect point? No, you don't have a pointy chin. You got kind of a curved chin right here. So we're going to do diagonal lines that are going this way, and they connect with kind of a stretched out letter U. All right. So back to our skull here. We're going to do some diagonal lines like this. And they're going to connect with this kind of nice curve right here. All right, beautiful. We got a head. All right, now let's get our face done, and then we'll talk about this empty area where your neck would be in just a second. All right, so from here, you're going to do a little bit more poking around on your face one more time. All right, so if you feel under your eye, there's part of your skull you can feel right there, and it goes all the way around kind of under your eyebrows right here. And that's actually where your eyeballs sit in your head, right? You have your eyes right here. So you have these big, lovely circles where your eyes live. So we're going to draw that. And that's actually kind of in the middle of your head, not super up high, like in your forehead, more in the middle. All right. So back to our skull, and I'm gonna say, okay, my middle is about here. So I'm gonna draw a circle, pretty big circle too, right? So our eyes gotta fit in it here. And then right here. All right, kind of looks like an alien right now because it's such big eyes. So our nose, you know, your nose is not actually made out of bone. You have cartilage there. That's the same stuff your ears are made out of. So you actually more have like a hole where your nose goes. So to draw our skeleton, our skull nose, we're actually going to draw an arrow pointing up. So that's like a capital letter A, like this. However, we're just going to draw a line going down. Okay, looks like an arrow, and you can even make it look a little lumpy because your skull isn't going to have a perfect arrow in it. Okay, maybe make that line a little lumpy too. All right, from here, teeth are tricky, so we're going to do it the simple way. All right, we're going to do a normal kind of a smile from like the middle of our eyes here, so we can go straight down. We're going to go smile like that, but then we're just going to add some teeth. So we need to make a spot for our teeth. We're going to have another curve that curves down, another curve that curves down, but they all start where those pointy corners of your smile are. So we're going to go down like that. So it already kind of looks like teeth are going to go there. We're going to do it again, a little bit bigger on the top. Okay, and then you can start filling those with those nice little vertical teeth marks. Okay, bigger, little. And you kind of got smaller teeth on the bottom, so I'll make those a little bit smaller. All right, so there is our basic crazy looking skull shape. All right, now here's a big old empty hole right here. You could leave that totally empty, or we could put a part of a neck in there. All right, however, your neck, when it's attached to the rest of the body, it's just kind of a nice straight line here. However, your whole neck is held up by these fun little vertebrae in your spine. So you have these little almost like discs that go down your back. So to do this with our drawing, we're going to just draw some ovals. All right, we're going to keep it real simple, keep it classy. So, like I said, you don't need to have a neck, but if you want to, it's going to look something like this. I'm going to draw an oval that goes right underneath the chin. And I'm going to do another one that connects to the oval before it. And I'm going to do one more right below it. I'm going to make it kind of go off the edge of my paper here. All right. So the really long neck, and if we were older, we'd probably start adding some other bones in here, but we'll call it good for now. All right. So from here, let's get decorating. All right. There's so many things you could do to decorate. I like to oftentimes do things around the eyes. So I like doing kind of like flower petals for our sugar skull. We do some of those. I see a lot of students like to draw different types of shapes. Like maybe you want to do a big old heart on the forehead or a star. Maybe you want to do some diamonds. Maybe I put some diamonds right by his teeth right here. Yeah. Maybe you want to do some spirals, do some swirly, spirally lines. And it's really up to you how you want to do this, all right? Wow. I just try to keep one on each side if there are two, all right? So if I have like one heart in the middle, it's in the middle. But if you have a swirl on one side of the face, you want to swirl on the other side of the face. That is called being symmetrical. So if there's one on one side, there's one on the other. It's evenly balanced. All right. So like I said, you could do circles, you could do dots, triangles, squares. Maybe you could draw some more just curving lines. It's really up to you how you want to decorate. And from here, you're going to be coloring. Okay. So one word of advice though, when you get to coloring, your skull, it is a bone and it is a white. So don't feel like you need to cover everything with color. Mostly just try to color in those little extra details you kind of sprinkled all over the face, all right? So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Please upload these pictures to either Seesaw or to Google Classroom, what grade you're in. And if you have any questions, comments, let me know. Be happy to help you out along the way. Happy creating.